Jai Hind, myself Dr. Alok Bardhan. Currently, I am working as an assistant professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College, Ghaziabad. Today, I will discuss the topic introduction of various renewable energy resources. So, first of all, these are my outlines. In this lecture, first of all, I will discuss what is the introduction of various renewable energy resources, then what are their availability, their classifications, and what are relative merits and demerits of various renewable energy resources. So, first of all, energy resources are categorized into two types. Number one is conventional energy resources, which is also known as non-renewable energy resources, and second one is non-conventional energy resources, which is also known as renewable energy resources. So what is conventional and what is non-conventional energy resources? So first of all, I will discuss conventional energy resources. So these resources are accumulated in nature over a long span of time and cannot be quickly replenished when exhausted. These are also known as conventional energy resources, and the examples of conventional energy resources are coal, petroleum, natural gas, and nuclear fuels like uranium and thorium. These all are the examples of non-renewable energy resources. If you are talking about renewable energy resources, so these resources of energy can be used again and again and in less manner, and these cannot be generated continuously in nature and are inexhaustible. So the examples of non-conventional energy resources are solar energy, geothermal energy, wind energy, tidal energy. So if you are talking about the examples of renewable and non-renewable energy resources, so solar energy, biomass energy, wind energy, geothermal energy, hydropower energy, these all are the examples of renewable energy resources. Whereas fossil fuel, coal, natural gas, nuclear fuel, these all are the examples of non-renewable energy resources. Now, in subsequent slide, I will discuss different types of non-renewable energy resources in detail. So first one is wind energy. What are the wind energy and its introduction and availability? If we are talking about wind power, so wind power is usually generated by wind turbines situated either onshore or offshore, and kinetic energy of wind is measured as cubic proportion to its velocity and is being used for centuries in water pumping, windmills, irrigating fields, and navigation. So wind energy utilized by means of windmill. Many projects on the windmill system for water pumping and for production of small amount of electrical power have been taken up in our country. Following are the some developments regarding the wind power plant. So here CAZRI windmill at Jodhpur, WP2 water pumping windmill by NAL Bangalore, MP1 sail windmill at NAL Bangalore, windmills at Central Salt and Marine Chemical Research Institute, Bhavnagar, Gujarat, 12 PU 500 windmill at NAL Bangalore. So these are the some developments regarding the wind power plant. So this is the wind power plant. In this is the rotor which is coupled with the turbine which produce electricity. Now, what is merits and demerits of wind energy? The first one is abundance availability of for no price. Second advantages is useful at remote places, also for electricity generation. Third one is it is non-polluting and eco-friendly. Next one is can be utilized for end user also, such as hybrid energy sources, example wind photovoltaic effect. This is also suitable for power supply at offshore and onshore sites. It is cheaper installation, cost, and almost negligible recurring expenses. So these are the some merits of wind energy. Now, if you are talking about its demerits, so first one is less favorable in city location. less favorable in city location as the wind is available at higher location. It is unreliable and intermittent. It is not available regularly. The third demerit is flow of wind is not guaranteed through the year. Therefore, it is used for continuous supply power station and it is not feasible. The next demerit is due to fluctuating nature of wind blowing, the produced mechanical energy has to be stored by some means. Example, it is stored in the form of battery and so on. The last demerit is its present day wind energy systems are source of immense noise pollution, means it produce lots of noise. So these are some merits and demerits of wind energy. Now the second renewable energy resources are solar energy. What is solar energy? So solar energy is a clean and abundantly available renewable energy. The total radiant energy of the sun is vast, out of which only a small fraction gets incident on the outside of the earth atmosphere, and 30% of it is directly reflected back to the outer space in the short wave radiation. So we can say that 47% is directly converted to heat that is lost to the outer space in long wave radiation, and major portion of the rest 23% causes evaporation, precipitation and circulation of water in the hydrologic cycle of the earth. So sun radiates its energy in all directions of the universe. Sunlight received during day hours and clear sky has power density between 0.5 kilowatt per meter square and 1 kilowatt per meter square. So solar energy varies with season, geographical location and day, night, etc. So solar energy are dependent on these conditions also. Now these are some photovoltaic. These are some solar cell which works on the photovoltaic effect and produces electricity by using solar rays. So what are its merits and demerits? So if we are talking about its merits, so first one is noiseless operation. It produces noiseless operation, then occupies less space on floor as there is no need of storage vessels. Then it is cheaper initial cost and no need of containers to store the fuels. Then another merit is in most of the equipment do not require any serious attentions during their working, and for example food will be cooked simply by putting a solar cooker in sunlight. These are some merits. And if you are talking about its demerits, so solar equipment fails to work in nights, cloudy day, rainy season, and larger space is required for collection of solar energy at a useful rate. So for large production of electricity through solar energy, the required space is larger. Now if you are talking about tidal energy, so what is tidal energy? Tidal basically tidal produces by the help of tidal energy we can produce tidal power which exploits the movement of water caused by tidal currents, the rise and fall in the sea levels due to the tides. Although not at widely used, it has potential for future electricity generation and is more predictable than wind energy and solar power. Now the technology required to harness tidal energy is well established. However, it remains expensive and there are relatively few applications, around 40 worldwide. In a Gulf of Cambay, Gulf of Kutch and the Sundarban Delta are the tidal power sites in India. These are the pictorial representation of tidal power plant. Here, by the help of tidal energy, we can rotate the turbine, which is coupled with the electric generator, which produces the electricity. Now, what are the merits and demerits of tidal energy? So, if we are talking about its merits, so it is very less area is required because they are on the waste. It is free from pollution and it does not use any fuel. It is much superior to hydropower plant as it is totally dependent on the rain, which always fluctuates year to year. Another merit is it does not produce any unhealthy waste like gases, ash, and refuse, etc. If you are talking about its demerits, so the first demerit is tidal power plants can be developed only if natural sites are available. As the sites are available on the bay, which will be always far away from the load centers, the power generated involves more transmission cost. Now, the capital cost of the wind power plant is also high. And last one is the navigation is obstructed. So these are some merits and demerits of tidal energy. Now, now I am talking about MHD energy. What is MHD? MHD means magnetic hydrodynamic. मतलब the MHD generation, yeah, also known as magneto hydrodynamic power generation, is a direct energy conversion system which converts the heat energy directly into electrical energy without any intermediate mechanical energy, yeah, as opposed to the case in all other power generating plants. So this is the pictorial representation of MHD power plant. Here, this shaft is rotated between this north and south pole, and which produces, which cut the flux, and flux produces the electricity. Now, if we are talking about its merits and demerits, so the first merit is more reliable since there are no moving parts. In MHD system, the efficiency can be about 50%. Here, 50% are losses, compared to the less than 40% of most efficient steam plant. In compared to steam power plant, these type of plant are 40% more efficient. As soon as it is started, it can reach the full power level. Power produced is full of pollution, less overall operating cost. The capital cost of MHD plant is comparable to those to conventional steam plant. So these are the some merits of MHD energy system. Now we are talking about its demerits. So MHD system suffers from the reverse flow of electrons through the conducting fluids around the end of the magnetic field. So this is the disadvantage of MHD energy. Now there will be high friction losses and heat transfer losses. The friction loss may be as high as 12% of the input. So this type of plant has 50% efficiency. Now, now what is fuel cells? The another renewable energy resources are fuel cell. So what is fuel cell? Basically, fuel cell is an electromechanical cell that convert the chemical energy of fuel into electricity. And what is chemical energy? This chemical energy are hydrogen. And what is oxidizing agent? The oxidizing agent are oxygen. Fuel cells are different from most batteries in requiring a continuous source of fuel and oxygen to sustain the chemical reaction, whereas in a battery, the chemical energy usually comes from metals and their ions are oxidized that are commonly already present in battery except in flow battery. So fuel cell can produce electricity continuously for as long as fuel oxygen are supplied. So this is the schematic representation of fuel cell. Here this is anode, this is cathode, and between anode and cathode this is electrolyte, and due to the chemical reaction of the chemical reaction occurs between anode and cathode, electricity are produced. So if you are talking about its merits and demerits, so what is its merit? First one is it has very high efficiency, as high as 70%, since it is a direct conversion process and does not involve a thermal process. Fuel cell have less mechanical component, hence maintenance is also less. Fuel cell take little time to start operation. Space required for fuel cell power plant is less. Large amount of cooling water is not required like in a conventional steam power plant. Fuel cell can be installed near the use point, and they do not make noise, hence can be used in residential areas also. Now, what are its demerits? The first demerits is its service life. Its service life is low, high initial cost. The use of fuel cell power is still unsafe due to explosive nature of hydrogen and oxygen. So we can say that these are unsafe. Then availability of suitable auto catalysts to function efficiently for long duration has also restricted its commercial application. And last one is the refilling of auto vehicle is quite difficult. Then another renewable energy resources are biomass. So what is biomass? Basically, biomass is organic material made from plants and animals. It is a renewable energy source because we can always grow more trees and crops, and waste will always exist. So it does not include fossil fuels which take millions of years to create. When burned, the chemical energy in biomass is released as a heat. Wood waste या garbage can be burned to produce steam for making electricity या to provide heat to industry and homes. Burning biomass is not the only way to release its energy. It can be converted to other useful forms like methane gas, या fuels, या ethanol and biodiesel. So, the main source of production of biogas are cattle dung, night soil, या poultry या piggery droppings. So by using this, we can produce heat, and by using heat, we can generate electricity. If we are talking about its merits and demerits, so it has very high cost of obtaining bioenergy. Through plantation is lesser than cost of obtaining energy from fossil fuels. Second merit is plant ensure a continuous supply of energy due to their continuous growth. Combustion of biomasses does not cause SO2 air, means sulfur dioxide air pollution, since the content of sulfur in vegetable is even less than 0.1%. Growth of biomass consumes more carbon dioxide than is released during combustion besides producing the atmosphere. Purifying oxygen as a product of the photosynthesis process. The last merit is biomass is a low polluting type of energy. All its byproducts are capable of being recycled. So this type of biomass energy produce lesser pollution compared to other. Then if we are talking about its demerits, so accumulation of water in the pipeline and need to remove it at periodic intervals, insufficient designing of gas appliances, seasonal variation in gas production due to lack of temperature control, and poor insulation of plant. Another demerit is on absolute basis, the cost of biomass energy is found to be generally than coal-based plant. So these are some merits and demerits of biomass energy. Now, another renewable energy resources are OTEC energy. What is OTEC? OTEC means Ocean Thermal Energy Conversion System. So basically, ocean thermal energy conversion is a process or technology for producing energy by harnessing the temperature differences between ocean surfaces and deep ocean waters. So due to the difference between the ocean surface temperature and deep ocean water temperature, we can produce electricity. So energy from the sun heats like surface water of the ocean. In tropological regions, surface water can be much warmer than deep water. So this temperature difference can be used to produce electricity and to desalinate ocean water. Ocean thermal energy conversion system uses a temperature difference to power a turbine to produce electricity. So the difference between the top surface and bottom surface can be used to produce the electricity. Then the vaporized fluid is turned back to a liquid in a condenser cooled with cold ocean water pumped from deeper in the ocean. An OTEC system using seawater as the working fluid can use the condensed water to produce desalinated water. So this is the pictorial representation of OTEC power plant. So here this is turbine, and this is the bottom surface, this is top surface, and this is bottom surface. So by using the temperature difference of top and bottom surface, we can run the turbine, which is coupled with the electric generator, which produces the electricity. Now, what is the merits and demerits of OTEC energy system? So if we are talking about its merits, so it has very high cost of obtaining bioenergy through plantation is lesser than the cost of obtaining energy from fossil fuels. The OTEC process exploits the temperature difference between the warm surface and cold bottom water to produce electricity. In India, the condition for operation of OTEC plant are favorable because of this temperature difference that remains constant throughout the year. It is inexpensive transmission of electricity is possible provided the OTEC plant is less than 30 km from the sea shore. Then what is its demerits? So at greater distance, the transmission cost of electricity is increased. Another demerits is it has several limitations and techno-economic constraints, hence their commercial prospects are quite uncertain. Now, OTEC technology is costly and difficult. It is also infant stage. Corrosion of metal parts due to saline water is more. Salts get deposited in pipes and equipments, therefore maintenance is difficult. Plant size is limited about 100 megawatt due to large size of component. And last one is plant is subjected to ocean stream and high waves, so it is subjected to very high stresses. So these are some merits and demerits of OTEC energy system. Then next renewable energy sources are geothermal energy. So what is geothermal? Basically geothermal is derived from high temperature geothermal fluids. This can be utilized for power generation and thermal application like greenhouse cultivation, hot water irrigation in cold countries, and cooking, process heat, electrical power generation. Generally, geothermal energy available inside the earth at a depth more than about 80 km. There are two types of geothermal deposits, namely hydro geothermal energy deposits and petro geothermal energy deposit. So first one is of hot water type and second one is of hot dry rock type. So geothermal energy is another energy source that can be harnessed for power generation and thermal application in near futures. So in a few locations called geothermal field in the world, the geothermal energy is available at the depth of 300 meter to 3 km. Fields are mainly the countries like USA, Philippines, Mexico, New Zealand, Japan, Italy, Indonesia, and Hungary. So these are the some locations where geothermal energy are available. Three major geothermal power plants. One is Tuscany of Italy with 450 megawatt, and one is Veraki of New Zealand, and the third is California of USA with 600 megawatt installed capacity are available in the world. India has about 150 known geothermal sites having geothermal fluids of moderate and low temperature. Now, if you are talking about its merits and demerits, so geothermal energy offers an inexhaustible and versatile source of energy. It is naturally available, hence less expensive. It causes negligible pollution. Guarantee of power generation is more than wind and solar energy. These can be used for many other purposes such as heating and cooling. Now, what are its demerits? The first demerits is surface subsidence sometimes result due to withdrawal of large amount of steam of water from a geothermal source. Air pollution result in case of release of gases like H2S, ammonia, carbon dioxide present in steam and hot water coming out of these geothermal sources. Noise pollution results from the drilling operation in geothermal fluids. The overall efficiency for power generation is quite low, 50% compared to 30 to 40% of fossil fuels. So these are the merits and demerits of geothermal energy. So this is all about for this lecture. Thank you for watching.